Hello everyone, I am the horror hack John Mason. First and foremost, just wanted to say thank you so much for coming by and watching this video. I hope you give it a like and subscribe at any time. Today we're going to be talking about the summer creature feature Crawl, directed by Alexandre Aja. This film is written by Sean and Michael Rasmussen and even has Sam Raimi on as a producer. Now Alexandre Aja has a pretty sweet resume of directing, writing, and producing some badass horror films. He directed and produced Piranha 3D, he wrote and produced Maniac, wrote and directed Mirrors, wrote and directed High Tension, as well as wrote and directed my favorite film from his, The Hills Have Eyes from 2006. In my opinion, he really is one of the masters at building tension in horror films. So did I like his most recent film, Crawl? Let's get into it. Son of a... I need more popcorn! So the plot goes something like this. A Category 5 hurricane is about to smash a Florida town and its residents, so of course an evacuation is ordered. Haley, played by Kaya Scodelario, gets a call from her sister that their dad, Dave, played by Barry Pepper, isn't answering any of his calls. Okay, and I'll always think of Barry Pepper as Jackson from Saving Private Ryan. But anyway, Kaya then drives a few hours in a Category 5 hurricane to her dad's house to see what's going on. She then finds him unconscious in the crawl space under their house, and the most Florida shit starts to happen. They get trapped down there with a couple of big ass gators with floodwaters pouring in, possibly sealing their ultimate demise. Woo! Alright, let's get into what I liked about Crawl. Set design, my favorite part of this creature feature. There was a dark and dingy crawl space with nowhere to go, an alligator lair with dead bodies floating around, a creaky old house that's barely standing that's slowly flooding, and an Anytown USA gas station with gators circling all over it. You take all that, throw in some vicious rain, some dark and stormy skies, and you got one hell of a scene. I also liked how the conflicts played out in the story. Our characters seemed to go one step forward, only to get pushed 2 steps back. There would be a small sigh of relief, followed by, oh shit, that gator's gonna rip my head off, and spoiler alert, there are some heads that get ripped off. I also liked how claustrophobic this film felt. When you're trapped in a crawl space under a house with gators on dry land, that's bad enough. But then the floodwaters start pouring in, making it worse and worse. The turf no longer belongs to the humans. It's monster soup and you're about to get eaten. Now let's talk about what I didn't like so much about Crawl. I really liked the acting of Kaya in this film as Haley, but I just didn't like some of the character's traits. She was on a swimming scholarship at the University of Florida at the time and just used that to her advantage, but I'm not really sure it's enough of an advantage. You're trying to outswim a bunch of hungry gators in a flash flood surrounded by debris. I think what would have been cool is if she wasn't a swimmer but some professional gator wrangler that just knew how to kick all their asses. You know, like a gator just swims up on her and she's like, oh really? Sorry, that got out of hand. I mean, maybe not beat the shit out of all of them, but you could do some cool things like tie them up, put them in trances and stuff. I just realized how stupid I just sounded. Another thing I didn't really care for is it was perceived that she was kind of weak by her dad. He would keep telling her to never give up, you're the apex predator. She was already strong at the beginning of the film. She defied orders, she drove hours in a Category 5 hurricane and seemed to handle these monsters pretty well. So for me, the character arc just wasn't there for her. By the way, just her willing to drive a couple hours through a Category 5 hurricane makes her badass enough. I live in Los Angeles where it barely rains, and if we get so much of a drizzle, people freak out, they cancel their plans, they drive 2 miles an hour on the highways only because there's a less than half centimeter of rain on the ground. Now I grew up in Iowa, driving in blizzards, ice, snow, tornadoes, what have you. So I feel you, Haley. And my third grievance about the film is I thought the tone needed to be just a little bit more silly. Just sprinkle a little more cheese on it. Throw that cheese right on that film because it leaned more towards the serious side, I think. Now there was some funny lines and gags in this film that I liked, but I felt that they didn't quite land as well as they could have because it was more of a dramatic film and less funny. Less campy, I should say. And my final thoughts on the film, don't go to Florida. I'm just joking, guys. But seriously, I really wanted to love this film. I don't normally look at reviews before I do my reviews because I don't want to get swayed in any way. And I was seeing online how much people love this film. Some called it even the horror feature of the summer. I just thought it was cool. I wasn't really scared. I didn't feel the immense tension that I think others did. And honestly, I didn't hear many gasps or see people jump in the theater that I was at. There were many parts in the film that I thought the gators were really awesome and scary, swimming around around, some cool POV shots, a tail flick here and there as they dive under the water. But then there were other times I didn't think the gators were so cool. For instance, one scene where a gator is easily trapped in a shower with a sliding glass door. My best advice to you, go see it in a packed theater. Feed off of others' emotions to make your experience better. Maybe there wasn't enough people in my theater to do that. So I thought Crawl was cool. It was fun. But it kind of just fell flat as an intense creature feature that I wanted for the summer. Please go see it though, because I still think you'll have a great time. Thanks so much for watching my review of Crawl. Tell me what you thought about Crawl in the comments below, and give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Horror Hack. I am The Horror Hack, and this has been one hack of a show.